What's up, everyone? Shirley here. We're back in Nya'lotha on Mythic today, looking at Shad'har the Insatiable. This is a great fight for arms warriors. This really accentuates all of our strengths on a single target boss, finally this tier. It's been far too long since we can actually do good single target pressure. And this fight lines up really well with all of our cooldowns, so we're going to go ahead and break this one down. It's pretty simple. This is the patchwork boss of the raid, and we're going to go ahead and start, popping all of our cooldowns, and pretty much the entire first phase here is just avoiding the little purple black swirlies that come out every once in a while on the ground, and avoiding your own corruption as much as you can, because I am running a decent amount of corruption on this fight because there's not much else going on. It's pretty easy to avoid. I would recommend speccing into Stormbolt to take care of the thing from beyond, like you just saw there, if you do have it. And if it is on cooldown, it's not the end of the world as long as there's not a ton of damage going out right there in that fight. You can usually soak one of them and live. If, it's a sketchy portion, then you definitely want to be popping a DR for it. But otherwise, they're not the end of the world. And the only other mechanic that we're dealing with here is feeding the dog, which are the little red blood things that spawn and chase somebody down. We're just running them all the way out in front of the boss as far as away from the raid as we can to mitigate as much of that fall-off damage as possible. And other than that, it's just rinse, repeat. There's not really much to say on this fight. Right here, I was trying to run away from the thing from beyond and get out of my own corruption eye, but we did have that spike go out, so I went ahead and used my cloak there just because I didn't want to risk dying on this. You definitely want to be saving your health stone and health potion as an arms warrior until like the last phase, if you can get away with it. I ended up burning both, I think, during phase 2 on this particular pull here. You do what you got to do, but the longer you can hold it as arms, the better, because we have no, sustainability during the end when it's just a burn and trying to zerg the boss down. But anyway, we're going to transition at 66% or whatever it is into phase 2, and this is where we're going to go ahead and pop our second potion and Bloodlust. And it's right up at our next 2 minutes, so Memory Lucid Dreams comes back at this point, which lines up perfectly for us because this is where we're gonna climb the meter and spike up a bunch, because we get a ton of value out of Bloodlust with Memory being up for this. And we're just stacking in a couple of different groups. This is kind of a hodgepodge here, but we're trying to be stacked on like his two legs almost, or behind him. Obviously we can't get off on the right side there, but to mitigate as much as that breath damage that he randomly targets as possible. I stunned that one thing from beyond here, and I think I'm gonna have to eat another one, but this is where we're gonna be overlapping all three of our rallying cries, as well as SLT and darkness, everything coming up, so not the end of the world right here. And as Lust is falling, we're just cranking the boss, trying to get him transition before he gets out too many of those breaths on us. And he's gonna transition at 33. And we're just, go ahead and cycle up our next cooldowns. We're not saving for anything during this fight. The only time I got kind of fortunate during this last phase here about, cycling cooldowns, because I do get one of the blood debuffs coming up here right about the time that Memory Lucid Dreams comes back off cooldown. And if I had hit that, just beforehand, just before that it came out, I would have wasted my entire execute burst window, which would have been very sad. So I got kind of lucky that I can run that out beforehand. And I'm just moving out of my corruption circle here during the last phase, next to the boss, praying that I don't get parried. Not the end of the world, just trying to mitigate as much damage on the raid as possible. The caveat of running that much corruption on something like this, but here I get the fixate in the ring. I'm going to go ahead and leap out to the thing and just get it blown up as soon as possible. Grab the little chunk of meat, or the morsel I think is what it's called, to feed him again one last time here. And now, during the last 16%, this is where we got Memory back up. If I'd had it, if I didn't have to run out there, I would have got a couple more percent uptime on the boss here during the final execute phase, but it's not a big deal. I got lucky with my trinket proc, as well as seize the moment procking there, so I had a ton of haste for this buff here for the execute during the end. 100Ks, non-crits, and that's gonna finish off Shad'har. Yeah, not too bad of a boss for a patchwork fight. You know, the last couple we've had were kind of boring, but I don't know. This guy was kind of nice. I'm fine with him. If you have any questions, leave them down below, and I will see you next time. Peace.